Oh, total cold. Anybody else?
Is it?
Wash of cold? Nobody?
You.
Nobody?
Fool.
No? No?
No.
You?
Nope.
Oh.
What? What?
I just had another flash on the EMF.
William Shakespeare wrote, "All the world is a stage, and all the men and women merely players. We have our exits and we have our entrances, and in our time we play many parts. But in the last scene of all, the one that ends this strange and eventful history, comes mere oblivion." But what if Shakespeare was wrong? What if there's something more than just the darkness of the void waiting for us when we take our final breath? Built in 1902 as part of the Town Hall in Liverpool, Nova Scotia, the Astor Theatre is the oldest performing arts venue in the province. Originally known as the Liverpool Opera House, it was constructed on land owned by one of the town's most prominent families. The town offices are actually still housed inside the building, in a room fittingly named for James and Jedediah Gorm. Staunch evangelical Christians, the Gorms firmly believed in everlasting life in the hereafter. But when the town moved the house up the hill to where they are still buried today, did Mrs. Gorm decide to return to this world to voice her displeasure?
So yesterday we came here. I wanted to see what the gravesite looked like. This is the site of James and Jedediah's bodies. They were buried here. And we opened the gate. Kim went in. I did not. And we found a little piece of geocaching. We wrote our names on it, and we wrote the date. And had a bit of a creepy experience, because as soon as we'd finished writing our names and the date on there, the bell started tolling. There we go. As the bell tolls.
Do we just do something really bad?
If you want to possess Paul temporarily, you know, on film.
A couple of minutes.
That is okay. but no harm. There will be no harming of cast or crew.
Nope. Won't have it.
Yeah, no harming. But you are welcome to communicate. You are welcome to talk to us. That's communicating. You're welcome to possess Paul for a short period of time.
You were going to hell for that.
By joking around at the Gorm gravesite, Holly may have angered the spirit of Mrs. Gorm prior to our investigation at the Queens County Museum, with terrifying results, the impact of which still lingered the next day as we prepared to investigate the Astor Theatre.
Holly?
Yeah.
Do you have those four?
Oh, God! What? What was that?
I don't know. What?
So, of all the years that I've been doing this with Paul on the show, I have never experienced anything like I did at the Queens County Museum. I've heard things, I've caught things out of the corner of my eye, but I've never actually heard something in the present time, had a focused direction, and actually have it recorded so that we can go back and hear it again and again and again. That's new for me. That's a new one. I'm unsettled. I'm excited. If somebody actually was listening and they actually came down to communicate with us, with me, with any of us, I want to hear what they have to say. So if I scared you away yesterday, I'm sorry. It kind of scared the crap out of me. Ease me in a little bit this time, all right? But I'm definitely interested. You have my attention.
While Holly and I were more focused on the Gorm angle, Kim Bennett was still convinced that what we'd encountered the night before was actually the tragic spirit of young Anne Seeley. As Holly and I headed back to the Astor Theatre, Kim walked down the street to the Seeley family tomb to find some closure on her own experience by paying her respects. Meanwhile, Holly was about to start a tour of the Aster with Julie, a local who had been involved in production at the theater for years, when something, or someone, made its presence known.
So let's start with what we heard about 5 minutes ago.
I know, right?
So we were sitting here on the staircase, and Julie's been telling me a bit about what's been happening here. I distinctly heard what sounded like someone's footsteps on the stones outside. Thought there was somebody coming up to the door, and maybe you heard something else with that?
Yeah, I heard the door rattle.
Right.
Like, as if
Somebody was trying to get
someone
in.
was trying to get in.
So immediately I jumped up to go see who was locked outside, and there was nobody there.
Julie explained that this type of activity happened all the time in the theater, particularly on the balcony, where shadowy figures had been seen and strange noises had been heard in the area around the last remaining original theater chair, as well as on the main stairway, where a mysterious woman in a white 19th century dress had been observed. Julie then took Holly to the main stage, where she described a truly frightening incident.
Okay, so you also had an experience out here.
I did.
When was this?
This would have been 1991.
1991, and tell us what happened.
We put on local plays. Mm-hmm. So the play that we were doing this year was a musical, The King and I. Mm-hmm. And it was a Saturday night performance. Every seat was filled, the whole house packed. Mm-hmm. Right at the scene in the play when the entire cast is kowtowing, praying to Buddha, the set of theater lights just smashed. If it is haunted by Mrs. Gorm, being such a staunch member of society,
yeah.
And very religious, and at the time when she was alive,
mm-hmm.
It was Christianity and only Christianity.
Of course.
And so to have a scene where everybody is praying to another god,
yep.
That could be disturbing to someone who is so against that,
mm-hmm.
and then to have it going on their property,
mm-hmm.
in the site of their home, that may lead to problems.
Before we began our investigation, I wanted to have a little chat with Holly about her asking for my possession when she and Kim visited the Gorm gravesite the day before. I didn't find her particularly reassuring.
We re-invited whatever was with us yesterday to come back and finish their sentence / whatever else they wanted to share with us in a
Harmful, malicious,
way.
malevolent way.
Was there still any mention, perhaps, of possession of me?
We did not.
No.
No?
We didn't.
So you didn't encourage it to come possess me again, Holly?
I did not,
But
no.
you didn't sort of say, you know what, like that contract, we're going to terminate that contract?
No, I didn't do that.
So sweet.
As darkness descended on Liverpool, Nova Scotia, we had already experienced some unexplained events at the Astor Theatre, even though we hadn't actually begun our investigation yet. Then, almost as soon as we started filming, Dylan stopped Holly in mid-sentence, handed me the camera, and proceeded to describe the strange sound that he had just heard.
Okay, so I just threw the camera rig over my shoulders, and I was aiming towards the stage area because we're about to film a segment where we kind of get the plan going, and then we're all going to separate. And I only had one of my earphones in, and I immediately heard like a woo, and I thought it was a car at first, but then I took the camera and I put it towards the near street as a car was going by. It was not the same noise. And I also had this ear free, so I would have heard something. And it was just like guttural. It was as if somebody said a sentence and we slowed it down by 1,000. And it immediately sent chills up my spine, and I believe I swore a couple times because it freaked me out. One other thing too, because I thought it might be the walkie-talkies, because we're getting the walkie-talkies set up for the investigation, and I asked Paul to test his walkie. As I pointed the mic right towards it, because sometimes I get some interference, I just got kind of the usual clicking I get, not anything that was like the sound that I was describing.
I didn't hear anything in my mics, but it's also on like a different, I'm mostly wireless, so maybe because his mic is connected to the camera, maybe it's a little different.
You didn't hear like a loud car going? You know, like sometimes they have the muffler just broken. You didn't hear anything like that?
No, I didn't hear anything like that.
See, that's what I thought it was. But it was also, it was way too loud for me to be able to pick up a car outside.
Yeah.
Not to mention, is that not a one-way street?
Yep.
Sound was going that way. That street is one-way that way. So.
Nobody else heard the sound that Dylan described, nor did any of our audio devices record it. As I sat down to talk with him about it further, he revealed to me that this was actually the second time he had heard an unexplained noise in the theater.
So today we were doing a walkthrough with Holly and Julie, and they were kind of running through the history of the building, and more specifically the Gorm family. And as we were going up the stairs and turning into what's called the Gorm room, where there's two big portraits of both of them, I heard this, it sounded like a constant wind noise, and it made me turn over my shoulder because I didn't know what it was. And then once we kind of got through that door, it went away. Chelsea didn't hear it, and she was right next to me with a mic. It was just me.
If Mrs. Gorm was trying to get our attention, she had definitely succeeded. First, by terrifying Holly at the Queens County Museum, and now by toying with Dylan at the Astor Theatre. I decided to confront her in a way that I knew she wouldn't ignore if she was really there.
I've been keeping this in check until here, the third episode, but I might have gone a little ghost rogue, which Holly is used to seeing me do. She was out here walking around, and I thought, you know, this would be a good time, because Mrs. Gorm, if that's who we're dealing with, it's a cranky old lady. So I came out, and yeah, I kind of went ghost rogue, which is I went and taunted the ghost. I may have gone on a diatribe about how Mrs. Gorm ran a temperance society, and temperance movement was closely linked to 19th century colonialism, which oppressed 90% of the world's population and caused great hardship and suffering. So she would have been responsible for that. Onward, Christian soldiers, as they say. And then I might have gotten into the fact that she didn't have any kids.
Oh, that's right, I forgot.
And something about her never having sex and being cold and whatever, you know, some stuff like that, you know, the basics. And frankly, you know what? I rationalize it by saying that my good friend Holly here was, if it was Mrs. Gorm last night, with the whole thing at the museum, she deserves some, as the British would say, some stick. I put some stick about. Here's the thing, Mrs. Gorm, if you're here, I have 3 words for you. Bring it on to Dylan.
Oh, you just
What?
faux pod, yo.
I did a whole year of bring it on to me. Dylan has been fascinated by this. Oh, where's he going? Hey,
Dylan
come
just
back.
quit.
No, I'm gonna take that back. Totally my bad, not bring it on to Dylan. If I'm gonna do it, it's coming to me, not to Holly, definitely not, I like Chelsea. Bring it on, Mrs. Gorm. You gave it to Holly last night, I'll take it. I'll take it tonight. If you are here, you're not being very friendly, so let's have a conversation amongst ourselves, whether you want to hit me with some cold, which I just felt.
Yeah, I also had a little flash on the EMF.
Okay,
Yeah, so no, it's cool. We want to have the conversation.
Mrs. Gorm or whoever, I just want to make it clear that while I said Dylan, I took that back, totally take that back. Bring it on to me, not Dylan. Oh, it's good, Dylan, you felt some cold. There, just felt another wash of cold.
I didn't.
Okay?
It's good, it's transferred over. Just gonna take a heat signature on you now.
And I am checking the lighting because she has a habit of dropping lights on people,
That's
apparently.
okay, start praying to Buddha.
Oh, total
Go.
cold. Anybody else?
Is it?
Wash of cold? Nobody?
You.
Nobody?
Fool.
No? No?
No.
You?
Oh,
What? What?
I just had another flash on the EMF.
So you don't feel cold here?
No, do you?
Yeah, I do.
After I left the stage, the team went to work setting up the rest of our closed-circuit TV cameras in areas throughout the theater where paranormal activity had been reported. Meanwhile, I sat down in the backstage area where my brother Jim had set up his monitors. As we were giving instructions to Dylan in terms of where to position the cameras, we discussed what had happened just a few minutes earlier on the stage. Suddenly, I was startled by a sound from directly behind me.
Dylan was over there. Chelsea was standing up there, just with the mic listening in, and then I heard something behind me. So I was hearing like this, not really paying attention. Then watching the monitors, and I heard ding, 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 ding. This tinking sound behind me. So I turned to you, Chelsea.
Yeah, I heard the same thing. I heard first I thought it was maybe a heat source, but there is no heat source that I can see in here. And then you turned around, and when you were like, I think it was this, and you clicked on it, I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, so what happened is I turned around, and there's a cup back here, and it's a ceramic cup. As you can see, there's a bag here, but there's a lot of space between the bag and the cup, so it's not as if the bag's been moving over or touching the cup. And this is exactly what I heard from behind me. Like that. There's nothing here. There's nothing here that could be touching that.
I was just in the main theater here. I actually was just putting out some garbage, throwing stuff out. We were kind of in between segments here. And I thought I heard some noises in this area. So we're here now to kind of have a little bit of a look around. Kind of sounded like some creaking. And the front door's still locked. It wasn't that. I wonder if this door is still open. Oh, hey, Paul.
Hey.
That's close.
Sorry.
Did you hear anything? You've been...
All right, okay. So we're filming me coming out of the bathroom now. Awkward. Totally awkward. I blame a fast food restaurant that I won't name for that. Sorry, I've been away. So you got...
You want me to start over?
No, I want you to tell me, what are you doing out here?
So I heard some sort of like creaking noises from like...
Have you gone upstairs?
No, we just got here now.
So how long have you been? Like a minute?
Minute and a half.
All right. I hate to admit this on camera, but I've been in the bathroom for about 15 or 20 minutes because I really haven't been feeling well.
Are you okay?
I'm okay, more or less. Don't go in the bathroom, though. That's all I want to say. Which you shouldn't anyway, because it's the guy's bathroom. But as I was, look, there's no other way to do this, so we're probably both going to laugh. But as I was sitting on the toilet with some quality time on my own, I heard more than once footsteps above me. Now,
seriously?
You stay here. When you were talking to Julie, she talked about something up here in this area. What was it? Because I wasn't there.
So she would hear herself when she was up in her upper office. It sounded like somebody was walking at the top of the stairs there.
There?
Yeah.
Like right there?
Yeah.
All right, Dylan, follow me.
Holly
and
run.
Chelsea, no. Holly and Chelsea stay here. So there's the top of the stairs there. This is the male washroom. Weirdest segment I've ever done on any show. And so...
You want me to see if it sounds the same if I'm up there?
Yeah, there's the stall I was in.
Oh, this is fascinating.
So that stall is directly under the landing at the top of the stairs. And I was hearing footsteps up there. There was nobody up there. I've checked with Kim, Jim,
just
the rest
now?
of them.
Like just now before? Like,
no,
sorry.
for the 15 or 20 minutes I was sitting on the toilet, off and on I would hear footsteps up there. And I would have checked, but I didn't bring my audio recorder for obvious reasons. And I have my walkie-talkie, but let's just say there's a reason I didn't call anyone. So I was going to come out and ask you guys when I was finally finished. Oh, this is awesome television.
There's got to be a better way, Paul.
No, this is what actually happened. Because I've not been feeling well. I've sort of had an upset stomach. A number of people on the crew have, I think, from something we ate, honestly. And so I was in there, and for 15 or 20 minutes,
there's the stall, I'm sitting on it, and that's where I heard it. So Holly, what I think we're going to get Holly to do is, in all seriousness now, is to go upstairs, and if you can walk around in that area, I will go inside about where I was sitting, and if you guys, Chelsea, first time for everything, if you can come in too, we'll see what we hear with Holly walking upstairs, and I'll tell you if that's what I heard when I was in the stall. Is that copacetic with you?
Sorry, yeah, I was getting some EMF, but not important. It's just from the recorder.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, in that case, in we go. I'll give you a yell when we're situated, and do some walking. Come on in, guys.
Have fun.
Yeah, come on in. This is exciting. Oh. Go.
On your mark.
On your mark, get set, walk. So I would have been in here. So let's see what we hear. You guys hear that? No. Didn't hear the squeak. I don't think she's moving now. There. No squeak. But I definitely heard the thump, 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 thump. There. But never the squeak. Never the squeak, but always the thump, thump, thump. Interesting. All right, let's vacate these premises as quickly as possible. Although I might be back. Holly?
Yeah.
All right, come on down.
Same noise?
Yeah, except that when you squeak, here, come on up, guys. When you squeak,
Just
like the
do me a
forward squeak,
favor.
it doesn't squeak but what I was hearing was the footsteps without the squeaking.
Do me a favor, slow down
Okay. But still come up.
and still come up.
All right.
Because walk into that room.
You want me to walk in?
I want you to walk into that room and tell me what you feel.
All right. You want an honest answer?
Always.
And we were here before. It feels a little oppressive to me.
Yeah.
Did you hear a heya or something from down there?
Okay, so that wasn't just me.
It sounded like heya.
I just heard a voice from down there.